That's odd. Usually the opening credits would roll at this point. Huh. Yeah. Knew it would work. Good morning, everybody. This Sunday, May 30-something, I don't know, in beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina. It's 55 degrees and raining today. Very unexpected for the beginning of summer. We've already got 3 new people saying hi. Hello to Julia, hello to Gabe, and hello to Julia again, because I think she's awesome. I'm so glad you're all here. A couple of quick status updates. I have a new camera methodology now where the lens is a little bit closer to the center of the screen so that it looks like I'm looking at the screen a little bit more for the teleprompter. That's new. Of course, I got this microphone, which I don't want to be seen except when I'm singing and reading stuff. So this is my regular speaking voice, and then I have a new headphone thing where I can monitor my own voice as we go. So for those of you who've been here since the beginning, I'm talking about you, consequently. Progress. All right, let's go to the chat chalet, see how everybody's feeling. I hope everybody's well. Where's my Johnny? That's weird. Never can tell with this program. Usually there's a neon Johnny in the front there. Couple technical. And look at that. Boom, there's my Johnny. Hey, everybody. Sometimes you just got to turn it off and turn it back on. It's Memorial Day weekend coming up. Today, of course, is Sunday. Tomorrow, Monday. What are y'all doing? What's everybody's plan? How are you getting to enjoy yourselves and having your free time? Because I'm not doing much. I stay home for the week. My wife is working yesterday, tonight, and tomorrow night. So we're home all 3 of those days and just staying with the kids. If it's nice out, we'll go out to the park or something. If it's not, then we'll stay inside and watch movies and TV shows. My son is 13. I finally turned him on to It's Always Sunny because he's very, very polite, and I think he can handle it. So we've been watching Always Sunny every day for the past couple of weeks. That's how I'm spending my exciting day. What about you? Oh, Spring's here. Hello, Spring. Good morning to you. I'm happy to see you. I like to comment on your good morning posts. I really do. But usually I find out they're like from 2 days before. It just says, good morning. And I'm like, good morning. Oh, wait a minute. Nope, that was from last Thursday. Glad you're here, Spring. Thanks for checking in. Well, David's here. My man, my favorite artist. Glad to see you, David Beckwith. Dreaming of being in Scotland, aren't we all? For those of you who don't follow me on Facebook, I have no idea how you're here, but for the sake of practicing on YouTube, I went to Scotland with my wife last week for our 20th wedding anniversary. How about that? 20 years in a row with the same woman. Like 18 of them were awesome. Pretty not bad. Not a bad percentage. All we did all day is we rented a car. We went to started in Edinburgh. Then we got a big old map. We got a nap too, but we got a big old map. We would just pick a different place every day, or let's see, like we'd pick like Aberdeen, and then we'd drive to Aberdeen, and then we'd pick a lighthouse, and we'd drive to the lighthouse, and then we'd pick the Coastal 500, and we'd drive to the Coastal 500, and then we'd pick the Highlands, and we'd drive to the Highlands. We just picked things at random, tried to stay out of the real touristy areas, and just saw some of the most beautiful scenery I've ever seen, and thousands and thousands and thousands of sheep. So many sheep. The war is over. The sheep have won. Oh, hey, Julia says that today is her 1 day of productivity. Tomorrow, nothing. I don't know about that. I know how busy you stay, but that's all right. A little relaxation. Nothing wrong with that. I'm glad you have it. See, David says he's dreaming of being in Scotland, aren't we all? Gabe says he's getting the kids ready to go out. Now, how many kids do you have, Gabe? You got to forgive me. Where are you writing in from? I'm not sure. I don't quite remember where we met. I think you're a musician, but I'm not positive. And almost always when I guess, I get it wrong. Iona? I don't know what that, I want to know what that means. That's all right. I'm a little bit slow on the uptake in the morning. That's why I'm drinking my coffee. Hope you're having yours too. I find that if I have teeny tiny little cups, it makes me look bigger and manlier, and it tricks my mind into thinking I drank more. Where are you writing in from? Oh, Toyota. That makes a lot more sense. No, we drove a, let's see, it was a Jeep Juke, I believe. I believe it was a Juke, Nissan Juke. That's what it was. And it had a revolutionary new, man, I got to stop saying, I was listening to the thing last week. It's irritating. I drove Nissan Juke with a revolutionary new kind of cruise control. See, happened again. This has a sensor in the car where it can tell if you're behind a car or not and how fast that car is going. So you don't have to adjust your speed constantly when there's other cars in front of you. And in Scotland, it was particularly difficult to drive because it was on the wrong side of the road. And also, there's several stretches where it was a big, long road, right, over the mountains or something, where there's nobody around for hundreds of miles. And it would just be a long road, and then a little curve here, and then a long road, and a little curve there. And the idea was a car coming this way would have to pull into that curve. I'd pull into this curve, he'd draw up by me, and I'd get back on. So it was very, very scary, very stressful, but easily worth it for some of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. Just check out my Facebook page. I've been posting far too many pictures of it for far too long. Gabe still hasn't told us where he's from, but Dave says that the Isle of Iona is where many ancient kings and saints are buried off the coast of Scotland. I don't believe we visited any islands except the island of Skye, and even that was a little bit too crowded for me. There it is again. I'm learning, but we visited all four corners of the mainland. We went everywhere we possibly could. I didn't even keep track of the cities or anything like that in my head. I just let everything go and drove around seeing pretty things. I think we're caught up. Good deal. Thanks for checking in, everybody. Anything on your mind? What do you do when you relax, Julia? I like to chat more. This is nice to have all these people in here. Like David, you strike me as the kind of guy who's working all day. Making art is work, technically, right? We'd do it if they didn't pay us. I do. But it's work. You strike me as someone who's artistic all day long. I don't know how you relax at the end of the day, but I'm curious. I like to have a Manhattan or something, a little alcoholic beverage in my chair. And watch way too much TV. All right, this is not rolling, so let's spin the wheel. A couple updates. We got Roses and Thorns on the wheel. Hope that one comes up. And all of our old favorites. I hope everything sounds okay out there. I got a new microphone. Spring says the pictures of y'all's vacation were beautiful and happy anniversary. Thank you very much, Spring. It was its own rule. Ask me anything. Well, that makes it easy. Let's head on back to the talk show. There it is. All right. See, I got headphones. You can barely tell now, but I have headphones on for when I do my vocal stuff. Bringing this down. Ask me anything. 60 seconds on the clock, my friends. Anything you would like to know about me or the American people. I would love that. Charlotte, do you live in Charlotte? I've never asked you that, David. I apologize. And I probably would know your face if I saw it, but you never post pictures of your face, only paintings of your face. So forgive me. I didn't know you're from Charlotte. I'd love that. We go have a drink, that's nice, but I'd love to sit down and have a meal with you. That's even better. I hear that when you sit down and you break bread, you move on to the next level of friendship. And that's true the world over. So you have 60 seconds to ask me any questions you want. Anything. Be specific. Be vague. I'm just filling time for fun. I don't even know my background. The moon crashed and now it's not even trying anymore. So we got 15 seconds left to decide about that. I'm going to see if I can't fix that. Let's back. Not that one. No. 10 seconds left. Ask me questions. Any second. Whoop, there's a Johnny bug. Oh, thank you. All right. Guess we'll never know. Oh, time is up to ask me anything. We're going to spin the wheel, and when we come back, we will answer all of your Ask Me Anything questions. But first, let's take this thing down. And we'll be right back. Let's spin the wheel. Shakespeare. All right, let's head down to the Shakespeare stage. I don't believe I need headphones for the Shakespeare portion, but I speak and project, and hopefully it works. We have been reading our way through the sonnets. Now today we are, I believe, down to 100 and it's in Roman numerals, 118. Sonnet 118 by William Shakespeare. Like as to make our appetites more keen, with eager compounds we our palate urge, as to prevent our maladies unseen, we sicken or shun sickness when we purge. Even so, being full of your ne'er cloying sweetness, to bitter sauces did I frame my feeding, and, sick of welfare, found a kind of meeting to be diseased, ere that there was true needing. Thus policy and love, to anticipate the ills that were not, grew to faults assured, and brought to medicine a healthful state, which rank of goodness would by ill be cured. But thence I learn and find the lesson true. Drugs poison him that so fell sick of you. How about a nice round of applause, everybody? That was fun. Let me mark this one real quick so we know it's done. There we go. All right. And now let's do the Ask Me Anything. Back to the talk show desk. All right. Let's see. There's things on the big screen that are not on my little screen, which is very, very odd. I believe the first question is, are you doing live shows? Thank you so much for asking. I'm doing as many as I can, which isn't much. Usually I have the kids babysitting, and getting the babysitter actually costs more than what they pay me for the show sometimes, if I don't get a hotel, something like that. So, but I do have a show I'm very excited about. This Wednesday in Lake Wiley, South Carolina, I will be opening for my sister, Kim Harrison, friend of the show, and my big sister. It's a very, very rare chance for us to perform together, and it's a very rare opportunity that I perform live. So if you'd like to see me live, come on down to Lake Wiley, South Carolina on Wednesday. Thanks for asking. And I believe the next question was, who died on the Titanic in alphabetical order? I think the poor and then the rich. Alphabetical order. Glad I could help. Thanks for getting involved, everybody. I wonder why I'm not seeing this here. Very odd. Hey, it doesn't matter. Let's spin the wheel. As always, if you have any requests, just let me know. Shakespeare again? Nah, we don't do two in a row. Come on now. A poem. Excellent. Let's head on down to the Poetry Pagoda. Let's read. The Walrus and the Carpenter by Lewis Carroll. The sun was shining on the sea, shining with all his might. He did his very best to make the billows smooth and bright, and this was odd because it was the middle of the night. The moon was shining sulkily because she thought the sun had got no business to be there after the day was done. It's very rude of him, she said, to come and spoil the fun. The sea was wet as wet could be, the sands were dry as dry. You could not see a cloud because no cloud was in the sky. No birds were flying overhead, there were no birds to fly. The walrus and the carpenter were walking close at hand. They wept like anything to see such quantities of sand. If this were only cleared away, they said, it would be grand. If 7 maids with 7 mops swept it for half a year, do you suppose, the walrus said, that they could get it clear? I doubt it, said the carpenter, and shed a bitter tear. Oh, oysters, come and walk with us, the walrus did beseech. A pleasant walk, a pleasant talk, along the briny beach. We cannot do with more than 4, to give a hand to each. The eldest oyster looked at him, but never a word he said. The eldest oyster winked his eye and shook his heavy head, meaning to say he did not choose to leave the oyster bed. But 4 young oysters hurried up, all eager for their treat. Their coats were brushed, their faces washed, their shoes were clean and neat. And this was odd because, they hadn't any feet. 4 other oysters followed them, and yet another 4. And thick and fast they came at last, and more and more and more, all hopping through the frothy waves and scrambling to the shore. The walrus and the carpenter walked on a mile or so, and then they rested on a rock conveniently low, and all the little oysters stood and waited in a row. The time has come, the walrus said, to talk of many things, of shoes and ships and sealing wax and cabbages and kings, and why the sea is boiling hot, and whether pigs have wings. But wait a bit, the oysters cried, before we have our chat, for some of us are out of breath and all of us are fat. No, Harry, said the carpenter, and they thanked him much for that. A loaf of bread, the walrus said, is what we chiefly need. Pepper and vinegar, besides, are very good indeed. Now, if you're ready, oysters dear, we can begin to feed. But not on us, the oysters cried, turning a little blue. After such kindness, that would be a dismal thing to do. The night is fine, the walrus said. Do you admire the view? It was so kind of you to come, and you are very nice. The carpenter said nothing, but cut us another slice. I wish you were not quite so deaf. I've had to ask you twice. It seems a shame, the walrus said, to play them such a trick, after we've brought them out so far and made them trot so quick. The carpenter said nothing, but the butter's spread too thick. I weep for you, the walrus said. I deeply sympathize. With sobs and tears he sorted out those of the largest size, holding his pocket handkerchief before his streaming eyes. Oh, oysters, said the carpenter, you've had a pleasant run. Shall we be trotting home again? But answer came there none. And this was scarcely odd, because they'd eaten every one. There we go. New microphone. Hope it sounds cool. Let's head on back to the chat chalet. Hey everybody, we're back. Let's see, nothing new in the chat. Can I animate? Yes, please. I would be so honored if you would animate some of my stand-up bits. You sent me a whole bunch. I don't know why it's not showing up on my main thing here. I'll have to figure that out later. But yes, I would be thrilled to death. You let me know and I will send you a couple of clips. I'd like that very, very much. You sent me the details step by step in the program, and then there's a Discord. But I got the ADHD, and I have a hard time reading because I'm dyslexic and I'm lazy. So you put all those things together, and not a lot of work gets done despite the tools that you offered me. So I would be thrilled to death if you would animate some of my clips, and I will give you whatever credit you like for both the people that are watching. Whoop, the headphones are still on. I want to take them off for the talking part. There we go. Now I feel more naturalistic. Let's see if there's anything else. All right. That's it. So let's spin the wheel. I'd be so thrilled, David. And I still really, really, really want that angry gorilla painting. I'm still working on it. I've had a couple Dali's that didn't turn out great. Like Dali 2, you know what I'm talking about. All right, monologue. Let's go to the theater. Headphones on. Actually, you know what? Let's do this headphones off, because this is a body acting thing, and I don't want to be thinking entirely about my voice. So monologues, I've got funny ones and I've got weird ones. Let's start with a funny one, because those are my favorite. This is... that's a good one. Nah. Let's do Bad Doctor. That's a fun one. Can't do Bad Doctor. It's in the wrong format. Hold on. Let's do The Mass Murderer by Dave Foley. This is by Dave Foley, the brilliant Canadian comedian and best looking man in drag in the history of comedy. He's on a hit. There's the again. I'm working on. He's on a hit show called Kids in the Hall from the 1990s, and I love him. Here we go. You know, the difficult thing about being a mass murderer isn't the murdering part. It's the mass part. It's this pace you've got to keep up, the sheer volume of murdering. Because the funny thing about killing, after you kill like the first time, the second time it's easy. The third time you start to get cocky, and then you got to be careful, you know. You got to stay humble or you make dumb mistakes. Oh, and by the seventh time, you're likely to feel like you're in a bit of a rut, you know. You want to get artistic with it, you know, start cutting off the middle toe of each victim so you'll be known as the middle toe murderer. By that point, I don't know. I think that's showboating, you know. You got to ask yourself, who am I doing this for? Myself or the press? And about the 20th murderer, well, you're likely to get sick of the whole thing, you know. Sometimes I don't even want to look at another corpse. I feel like if I even see a chainsaw, I'll scream. It's like what happened the other day. I had just finished ending a human life in a senseless act of violence when I run into this old friend of mine from high school, and he says, "Hey, what you been doing?" And I think to myself, what have I been doing? What am I doing with my life? Where is this leading? Am I going to be doing this at 50? Sometimes I really think I should go back to college. It's by Dave Foley, everybody. How about a nice round of applause for Dave? Fun. All right. Let's spin the wheel. Here we go. And what do we got? Wisdom. Let me lay down some wisdom for you from on high. Nice. Let's have some teachings from the Quran. You know, closer and closer mankind comes to their reckoning, yet they heed not, and they turn away. Help each other in righteousness and piety, but do not help each other in sin and transgression. It's good advice. You know, it is not righteousness that you turn your face towards east or west, but it is righteousness to believe in Allah and the last day and the angels and the book and the messengers, to spend of your substance out of love for him, for your kin, orphans, for the needy, for the wayfarer, for those who ask, and for the ransom of slaves, to be steadfast in prayer and practice regular charity, to fulfill the contracts which ye have made, and to be firm and patient in pain or suffering and adversity, and throughout all periods of panic. That is something we all aim to do. I feel a little wiser. Let's spin the wheel. Riddles. Okay. Sorry, I'm having some trouble with my computer here. I don't know why. Oh, just lost the all OBS. Thanks for hanging in there, folks. Let's go down to the riddle room. Somebody forgot to set up the riddle room. There we go. All right. This is awful. You hear all that dead air? Makes me so sad. Hold on for a second. Riddles. Here we are. We'll pick a fun one for you. Let's see. When I'm old, I'm tall. When I'm young, I'm tall. When I'm old, I'm short. What am I? Okay. That's an easy one to get you started. I am a word that begins with the letter I. If you add the letter A to me, I become a new word with a different meaning, but sounds exactly the same. What word am I? Once again, I am a word that begins with I. If you add the letter A to me, I become a new word with a different meaning, but sounds exactly the same. What word am I? I'll give you guys a chance to fill that out. Sorry about my face not being on the thing. I'm all over the place today, aren't I? There we go. There we go. That's a little bit better. We'll do the resize later. So once again, it's an English word. Starts with I. If you add an A to it, it adds another word. All right. Let's go to the chat chalet, see if anybody figured it out. I got all kinds of new hassles here trying to figure this out. Love to hear more about your trip to Scotland. I'll see what I can think of. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate you. we go. Mr. Beckwith, if you prefer. All right. But nobody guessed. The answer to the riddle is aisle. The word is aisle. Wish I could tell you more about my trip to Scotland. Went into a tobacconist shop and bought a pipe. I enjoy smoking a pipe every now and then, and I bought a lighter with a Celtic cross on it. I had the misfortune of saying I'd like that with a Celtic cross, and I got to hear a Scottish guy yell at me, so that's fun. The Celtics are a team in Boston. Celtics, that's our people. And then he also said that Gaelic is Gaelic in Scotland and Gaelic in Ireland. You don't want to get those wrong. It gets people mad. So that's one detail. But mostly we just drive around, look at beautiful stuff, stop at a little place, have a pint or two. Every night we would find a hotel. The last few nights it was a tropic. Man, you put in, I don't know. Okay, let's spin the wheel. Wrong button? No, not anymore. It's all going according to plan. Song. All right, cool. Let's go down to the theater and sing a song. Now, this is very exciting for me. I'm going to try to sing a soft song directly into the microphone. This is fun for me. I hope you enjoy it too. All right, let's find a soft song I can sing directly into the microphone. Let's do One for My Baby. It's 2:45. There's no one in the place except you and me. So set 'em up, Joe. I've got a little story you ought to know. We're drinking, my friend, to the end of a brief episode. Make it one for my baby and one more for the road. I got the routine, put another nickel in the machine. I'm feeling so bad, can't you make the music easy and sad? I could tell you a lot, but a man has gotta be true to his code. Make it one for my baby and one more for the road. You'd never know it, but buddy, I'm a kind of poet, and I've got a lot of things I'd like to say. So if I'm gloomy, won't you listen to me until it's talked away? So that's how it goes, and Joe, I know you're getting anxious to close. Thanks for the cheer, I hope you didn't mind my bending your ear. But this torch that I found has gotta be drowned, or it might explode. Make it one for my baby and one more for the road. That long, long road. Fun. I enjoyed that. All right, everybody, let's go back to the Chat Chalet. I'll tell you a little secret. I can't see my clock with the new setup, so I have to look on the screen directly here below. Is a clock on the screen, so it looks to me like it is that a second hand moving? All right, it would seem to be about 11:28, so we're still in good shape. Joe, hello, Em. Hello to everybody. Let me take a second, see if I could get that chat back on screen. I don't know what happened. Meanwhile, amidst the mists of fiercest frosts, with barest wrists and stoutest boasts, he thrusts his fists against the post, and still insists he sees the ghost. Wait, Joe's here! I don't know which Joe it is, but I'm very glad you're here. Oh, do I have some comedy tips? Let's see. What are some comedy tips? Thanks for asking. Well, it's pretty simple. If you want to be a good comic, the challenge with stand-up comedy is to get the picture in your brain into the audience's brain in as few words as possible, or as few syllables as possible if you want to be really advanced. The shorter the better, the truer the better. Try to be naturalistic, either completely naturalistic or completely fake. I prefer to be completely fake. Naturalistic works better. Make sure you speak clearly. Make sure your voice is warmed up and you're saying exactly what you mean, that you don't waste any time, that you sincerely love the audience, and that you stay sincerely grateful for the opportunity to do it. Those are some stand-up comedy tips. If you would like more specific comedy tips, by all means, write in and ask. This is fun. All right. What are some comedy tips? Thank you, David. All right. Well, let's spin the wheel. What do we got? Riddles again. I say we skip it. By the way, the word was aisle last time. A-I-S-L-E. Aisle. When you add an A to aisle. Brevity is the soul of wit. There's your comedy tip. All right. Poem. Let's go to the Poetry Pagoda. All right, got my dealie. Let us read some magic. I would like to read for you folks. Forgot about the intro music. That's a fun part. I would like to read for you folks. Let's see. That's a good one. That's a good one. Let's do Hope is a Thing with Wings. Hope is a thing with wings. Oh, I got that wrong. Hope is the Thing with Feathers by Emily Dickinson. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words, and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never, in extremity, it asked a crumb of me. Nice. Let's spin the wheel. Oh, that's not working. There we go. Still trying to get that Facebook chat back on stream, folks. There we go. I always knew there was a fan member who was just a little funny. Oh, Edmund, hey, welcome, my friend. Hold on. We got a Zen Cohen, but we're going to do it in a minute. Let me go to the talk show desk real quick. Hello. Welcome. Wrong button. Let's go to the chat room. There we go. Who's Joe? I don't know who Joe is. Oh, Mr. Denny. He. All right, there you go. Hello. Welcome, Edmund. I didn't know there was an Edmund Millwater in the family. Where are you writing in from? Where are you from? And how are we related? I'm Jim Millwater's boy. James, some folks called him Skip. Always curious who's who, and I'm very happy to meet you. Without Fathers? I have not read Without Fathers. I'll have to check that out. Thank you, David. Let's see. But welcome. I'm a little funny. Thanks for saying so. I got video clips I could show you being real funny, but there we go. There we go. That's what I'm trying to do. All kinds of new stuff this week, so I'm trying to get it just right. Hello to Edmund. Where are you writing in from? Tell me about yourself. I'll be back to chat with you in just a minute. But first, let's spin the wheel. Ooh, a song. Let's head on down to the campfire. We'll sing a campfire song. There we go. Let's do... how about... Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Ain't that a kick in the head? How lucky can one guy be? I kissed her and she kissed me. Like the fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head? The room was completely black. I hugged her and she hugged back. Like the sailor said, quote, ain't that a hole in the boat? My head keeps spinning. I go to sleep and keep grinning. If this is just the beginning, my life is gonna be beautiful. I've sunshine enough to spread. It's just like the fella said. Tell me quick, ain't love a kick in the head? Then it's that same thing again. Fun. I've never read without feathers. Sounds like a poem. Wisdom. Let's head on back. Lay down some wisdom from on high. We've already read from the Quran today. I think we should read something from, let's do some Jewish proverbs. Some of these are from the Quran. I mean, some of these are from, well, it's the Talmud. Some of them are just sayings. Here's a simple one. There is no community where everyone is rich. Neither is there a community where everyone is poor. A person's true character can be ascertained by 3 parameters. His cup, when how he acts when he drinks, his pocket, i.e. his financial dealings, and his anger. That's from Rabbi Eli. But here's something I think you should really think about. If a person says, I have worked hard but have not found success, don't believe him. If a person says, I have not exerted myself and I have found success, don't believe him. If he says, I gave it my all and I have found success, believe him. That's from Megillah, who I believe the gorilla was named after. One more. Lose with truth and right, rather than gain with falsehood and wrong. That's what I'm doing. Losing, but, you know, the right way, I'd like to think. Let's spin the wheel. Joke? Why not? Let's head down to the theater. I'll tell you a joke, if I can remember one. Here's the Scottish joke I heard. I told the joke last week, so I'm going to tell my response joke. It's my favorite joke. I may have told it here before. I definitely have if you're Julia, but it's still one of my favorites. Man walks into a bar and he sits down and he says to the bartender, you know, give me a drink. He serves a drink. The guy starts getting sloppy drunk. He throws up all over himself. The guy says, oh no, I threw up all over myself. My wife is going to kill me. The bartender says, nah, man, here's what you do. You take a $10 bill, you put it in your shirt pocket, you tell your wife somebody else puked on your shirt and gave you $10 to get it cleaned. Drunk guy says, that's a good idea. So that's what he does. He goes home, he walks in the door, his wife sees him. You drunken idiot. That's what she sounds like. You drunken idiot. You puked all over your shirt. The guy says, this is me, woman. Somebody else puked on my shirt and gave me $10 to get it cleaned. His wife looks at the bill, says, that's a 20. She also shit my pants. There you go. That's my favorite street joke. Let's spin the wheel. If anybody's still here in the chat, don't forget to say something or ask a question or get involved somehow. I miss you guys. But we got one viewer, and you are my favorite, whoever you are. Let's tell a joke. Oh, I just did joke, man. Hey. Ask me anything, always open for my one viewer. Very popular choice, the joke, but I really don't want to tell 2 in a row. Honest. Ask me anything. All right, then I'm going to pick my own if it's going to be like that. story. There you go. Haven't told a story in quite some time. I think this is it. All right, folks, I would like to tell you a story. Let's do A Lost Masterpiece by A.A. Milne. One of my favorites. Headphones on, and here we go. Story room. All right, ready to go. Whoop, uh-oh, looks like I'm thinking about something. Get rid of that. All right. Here's a story by A.A. Milne. You know, the short story, The Improbability of the Infinite, which I was planning for you yesterday, will now never be written. Last night, my brain was crammed with lofty thoughts on the subject, and for that matter, on every other subject. My mind was never so fertile. 10,000 words on any theme, from tin tacks to tomatoes, would have been easy to me that last night. This morning, I have only one word in my brain, and I cannot get rid of it. The word is Terrell-Bay. Terrell-Bay is not a word which one uses much in ordinary life. Rearrange the letters, however, and it becomes such a word. A friend... No, I can call him a friend no longer. A person gave me this collection of letters as I was going to bed and challenged me to make a proper word of it. He added that Lord Melbourne, this he alleged is a well-known historical fact, Lord Melbourne had given this word to Queen Victoria once, and it had kept her awake the whole night. After this, one could not be so disloyal as to solve it at once. For 2 hours or so, therefore, I merely toyed with it. Whenever I seemed to be getting warm, I hurriedly thought of something else. This quixotic loyalty has been the undoing of me. My chances of a solution have slipped by, and I am beginning to fear that they will never return. While this is the case, the only word I can write about is Terrell-Bay. Terrell-Bay. What does it make? There are 2 ways of solving a problem of this sort. The first is to waggle your eyes and see what you get. If you do this, words like alterably and laboratory emerge, which a little thought shows you to be wrong. You may then waggle your eyes again, look at it upside down or sideways, or stalk it carefully from the southwest and plunge upon it suddenly when it is ready for you. In this way, it may be surprised into giving up its secrets, but you may find that it cannot be captured by strategy or assault. Then there is only one way of taking it. It must be starved into surrender. This will take a long time, but victory is certain. There are 8 letters in Terrell-Bay, and 2 of them are the same, so that must be 181,440 ways of writing the letters out. This may not be obvious to you at once. You may have thought it was only 181,439, but you may take my word for it that I am right. Wait a moment while I work it out again. Yep, that's it. Well, now suppose that you put down a new order of letters, such as Ray Table, every 6 seconds, which is very easy going, and suppose that you can spare an hour a day for it. Then by the 303rd day, a year hence, if you rest on Sundays, you are bound to have reached a solution. But perhaps this is not playing the game. This, I am sure, is not what Queen Victoria did. And now that I think of it, history does not tell us what she did do, beyond that she passed a sleepless night, and that she still liked Melbourne afterwards, which is surprising. Did she ever guess it? Or did Lord Melbourne have to tell her in the morning? And did she say, "Why, of course"? I expect so. Or did Lord Melbourne say, "I'm awfully sorry, madam, but I found I put a Y in too many"? But no, history could not have remained silent over such a tragedy as that. Besides, she went on liking him. When I die, Terrell-Bay will be written on my heart. While I live, it shall be my telegraphic address. I shall patent a breakfast food called Terrell-Bay, shall say, "Terrell-Bay," when I miss a 2-foot putt. The Terrell-Bay carnation will catch your eye at the Temple show. I shall write anonymous letters over the name. "Fly at once, all is discovered. Terrell-Bay." Yes, that would look rather well. I wish I knew more about Lord Melbourne. What sort of words did he think of? The thing is, he couldn't think of aeroplane or telephone or googly, because these weren't invented in his time. That gives us 3 words less. Nor, probably, would it be anything to eat. A prime minister would hardly discuss such subjects with his sovereign. I have no doubt that in the after hours of immense labors he would triumphantly suggest, "Rateably." I suggested that myself, but it was wrong. The same objection applies to bat early. It ought to mean something, but it doesn't. So I hand over the word to you. Please do not send the solution to me, for by the time you read this I shall either have found it, or else I shall be in a nursing home. In either case, it will be of no use to me. Send it to the Postmaster General or one of the Gedseys or Mary Pickford. You will want to get it off your mind. As for myself, I shall write to the person who first said Terrelbay to me, and ask him to make something of Sabbat and Danureb. When he has worked out the corrections, which, in case he gets the wrong ones, I may tell you there are beast and bounder, I shall search the dictionary for some long word like intellectual. I shall alter the order of the letters and throw in a couple of G's and a K, and then I shall tell him to keep a spare bed for him in my nursing home. Well, I have got Terrelbay a little off my mind. I feel a bit better now to think of other things. Indeed, I might almost begin my famous essay on the improbability of the infinite. It would be a pity for the country to lose such a masterpiece. She has had quite enough trouble already with one thing and the other. For my view of the infinite is this, that although beyond the infinite, or one might say the commensurate, there may or may not be. Just a moment, I have to think. T-R-A... No. Fun by A.A. Milne. Oh, we got some friends back in the chat. Let's go talk. I'll get the hang of it eventually, folks. Whoop, putting this back down, talking like a regular guy. All right. Now, David had asked, first of all, he said Scotland's Connolly. Oh, wait, Andrew's here. Where are some good British comedians? I'm crazy about Rowan Atkinson. Jimmy Schubert's doing pretty well over there. John Oliver is by far my favorite British comedian. I don't know if he's considered one of us now. He's a citizen, but he still sounds like a British person. But he's by far my favorite comedian. He's one of my heroes, and I love him. And of course, Connolly. I watched. Oh no. I want to say Scott Connolly. It's Billy Connolly. I watched Billy Connolly quite a bit before we came over, trying to get a handle on the accent, and it really helped. My brother Andrew says hello. Hi, Andy. Glad to see you, sir. Give my love to Dad. I miss you both a lot. Hope you're well. Dave Allen. I'm not familiar with Dave. I do know Stuart Lee. I know Monty Python. Sam and Emstel I have not checked out yet. I will check them out for sure. Writerly comedians. High praise indeed. How you doing, Andy? How are things going over there? All right. He's doing the best work. I have a couple friends who tried to apply to write on his show, and it turns out that all those Emmys, he writes like 80% of it himself, the other 10% is another guy, and then 10% from the writers. So he's amazing. He's also a brilliant stand-up. If you haven't seen him do his stand-up, he has one special, I believe. It's on Paramount Plus. It's called Terrible Times, and it's fantastic. It's an audio-visual delight. Thank you for recommending those good ones. I will check out Dave Allen, and I will check out Simon Amstel. Monty Python, I have a deep and long abiding love for, to the point where I quote it to people ad nauseum, I believe, is the Italian. Let's spin the wheel. Let's see, we've done some wisdom. We've done a riddle. We've done a monologue. Haven't talked about my feelings. I can live without it. Short story. Ask me anything. We did that. Poem, song, joke. No Zen Cohen's yet. Shakespeare. Very well. Let's go to the theater. We'll do some Shakespeare. Better yet, let's go to the Shakespeare stage. That's specific. Shakespeare stage. There it is. Wrong curtain. Just flesh and blood, baby. Nice, right? Got to put all that up in just that 5 seconds. Okay. Another round of Shakespeare. We've done the sonnets. Let's head back up and do a soliloquy here. Let's do Once More Into the Breach, my friends. It's Memorial Day. This is from Henry the... Here we go. It might be Henry the Fourth. I'm not that smart. David, you probably know. Which one is One More Into the Breach? Kenneth Branagh did the movie. Once more into the breach, dear friends, once more. Oh, close the wall up with our English dead. In peace, there's nothing so becomes a man as modest stillness and humility. But when the blast of war blows in our ears, then imitate the action of the tiger. Stiffen the sinews, summon up the blood, disguise fair nature with hard-favored rage. Then lend the eye a terrible aspect. Let pry through the portage of the head like the brass cannon. Let the brow o'erwhelm it as fearfully as doth a gallant rock overhang and jutty his confounded base, swilled with the wild and wasteful ocean. Now set the teeth and stretch the nostril wide. Hold hard the breath and bend up every spirit to his full height. On, you noble English, whose blood is fet from fathers of war-proof fathers that, like so many Alexanders, have in these parts from morn till eve fought and sheathed their swords for lack of argument. Dishonor not your mothers. Now attest that those whom you called fathers did beget you. Be copy now to men of grosser blood, and teach them how to war. And you, good yeoman, whose limbs were made in England, show us here the mettle of your pasture. Let us swear that you are worth your breeding, which I doubt not, for there is none of you so mean and base that hath not noble luster in your eyes. I see you stand like greyhounds in the slips, straining upon the start. The game's afoot. Follow your spirit, and upon this charge cry, God for Harry, England, and St. George! Oh, that felt good. I enjoyed. You know what? I'm gonna get a little bit of this here. Yeah. You know what? That was good. I might watch that one later. That felt fun. 43rd. Might be a sonnet request. Never can tell with you, David. You constantly intrigue me. 43rd and 5th. Oh, it's Henry the 43rd. Oh, it's Henry the 5th. I'm with you. I asked a question. Henry the 43rd's the new guy, I think. All right, let's spin the wheel. Nice, right? It's the wrong button. Time for a song. Let's go into the, campfire seems like a nice place for it. I think in theater and literature they call that foreshadowing. All right, I've got my singing microphone close now. Let's see how this goes. Perhaps some other crooner song? Any requests? Type them in the chat. Let's do The Luckiest by Ben Folds. Ben Folds, for those you don't know, is my favorite musician and songwriter. He's written only one love song his entire career, and it's this song here. This is the song that I was married to, and I absolutely love it. I don't get many things right the first time. In fact, I am told that a lot. Now I know all the wrong turns, the stumbles and falls brought me here. And where was I before the day that I first saw your lovely face? Now I see it every day, and I know that I am the luckiest. What if I'd been born 50 years before you in a house on a street where you lived? Maybe I'd be outside as you passed on your bike, would I know? And in a wide sea of eyes, I see one pair that I recognize, and I know that I am the luckiest. I love you more than I have ever found a way to say to you. next door. There's an old man who lived to his 90s, then one day passed away in his sleep. And his wife, well, she stayed for a couple of days, then passed away. I'm sorry, I know that's a strange way to tell you that. I know we belong, that I know that I am the luckiest. Dad is here. Hi, Dad. Thanks for tuning in. I got a new microphone monitoring system so I can do some soft songs. I hope it's okay for you. Let's go check in. Haven't seen Dad in a few weeks. Whoop. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Hi, Dad. Welcome to the big show. I'm glad you're here. How you been? Glad to see you. I know you were doing some traveling. For those folks who don't know, James Millwater is my father. Andrew Millwater is my brother. Kim Millwater is my sister. Hey, Dad, I'm doing a show with Kim on Wednesday. How about that? It reminds me of the time you hosted the show for us in Orlando. When I was first coming up, I was a feature act. When you're a comedian, you start as an MC, a master of ceremonies, then you become a feature, then you become a headliner, in theory, and that's what I did. But when I was a feature, my sister was already a headliner because she's a brilliant comedian and has been performing most of her life. And so I got the feature. Kim headlined, and Dad, who's not a stand-up comedian, did the MC job. He did the hosting work, and it was very, very fun for us. He did all the announcements like they were church announcements, and he called himself the producer of the show, which of course you are, because you made us both. And thank you, Dad. Hope you're doing okay. I see nothing new in the chat. Whoop, didn't expect to be crying this morning. Oh man, that's a beautiful song, isn't it? I'm happy it hit you, buddy. It hit me too. That's a lovely thing for you to say. Thank you, David. All right. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to spin the wheel. Powerful Medicine had 1 or 2 in Agincourt. All right. Let's spin the wheel. Now, Dad, before you got here, we've done almost everything. We haven't done a Zen Koan yet. We haven't done a Limerick. And we haven't done Roses and Thorns. Ask me anything, always open, 30 seconds on the clock. Ask anything you like and I'll answer it when next I return to the chat. Shakespeare, I already did that. Song, yay, I love to sing. Let's do this one in the theater. Hi, everybody. It's me again. Singing into the other part of the microphone. Let's find something that we can croon gently. Too loud, too fun. Let's do Cheek to Cheek. Heaven, I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak, and I seem to find the happiness I seek when we're out together, dancing cheek to cheek. Heaven, I'm in heaven, and the cares that hung around me through the week seem to vanish like a gambler's lucky streak when we're out together, dancing cheek to cheek. Oh, I love to climb a mountain and to reach the highest peak, but it doesn't thrill me half as much as dancing cheek to cheek. Oh, I love to go out fishing in a river or a creek, but I don't enjoy it half as much as dancing cheek to cheek. Dance with me, I want my arm around you. The charm about you will carry me through to heaven. I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can barely speak, and I seem to find the happiness I seek when we're out together dancing cheek to cheek. Ha! I go, ha! So you know it's over. Yeah, it's fun. All right, let's spin the wheel. Can't wait to see what it is. Facial cheek? It works both ways. One cheek, it could be one of each, it could be two of both, whatever you like. All right, Shakespeare, who am I to argue? Back to the Shakespeare stage. Let's do something a little bit, let's see. Dad always likes Julius Caesar. Romans, countrymen and lovers, hear me for my cause and be silent, that you may hear. Believe me for mine honor, and have respect to mine honor, that you may believe. Censor me in your wisdom, and awake your senses, that you may be the better judge. If there be any in this assembly, my dear friend of Caesar's, to him say that Brutus's love to Caesar was no less than his. If then that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Had you rather Caesar were living and die all slaves, than that Caesar were dead to live as free men? As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was fortunate, I rejoice at it. As he was valiant, I honor him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. There is tears for his love, joy for his fortune, honor for his valor, and death for his ambition. Who is here that would base? But who here? Who among you? Who is here so base that would be a bondman? If any speak, for him have I offended. Who here is so rude that would not be a Roman? If any speak, for him I have offended. Who is here so vile that will not love his country? If any speak, for him I have offended. I pause for a reply. Then none have I offended. I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. The question of his death is enrolled in the Capitol, his glory not extenuated, wherein he was worthy, nor his offenses enforced, for which he suffered death. Here comes his body, mourned by Mark Antony, who, though he had no hand in his death, shall receive the benefit of his dying, a place in the commonwealth, as which of you shall not? With this I depart, that as I slew my best lover for the good of Rome, I have the same dagger for myself, when it shall please my country to need my death. Facial sheet. Hey Josh, how you doing, buddy? Glad to see you. Welcome to the show. Let's go back to the chat chalet. This is fantastic. Got all kinds of dudes in here today. Joshua Botiford's a friend of mine from high school. The rebuttal has come. Oh no, how you doing, Joshua? Glad to see you. You gonna do Friends Roman Countrymen, Lend Me Your Ears? I think that's next. I'd be damn impressed. So Josh, say hi to David. He's my buddy, and he's a brilliant artist. James Millwater, he's my dad and a brilliant dad. And I don't know who else is in here. Nobody else is in the chat. Remember, if you come and join the chat, just type it up. Every time somebody talks, it comes up here. I come back, I talk to you for a while. And then when I run out of stuff to say, we spin the wheel. Looking forward to that rebuttal. Feelings. Oh boy, all right, let's go to the talk show desk. Pretty good, optimistic, highly caffeinated. I just got, I did a sleep study last week, and it turns out that I have severe sleep apnea, which may cause heart problems or a stroke. So they're going to give me one of them Darth Vader machines, and that might give me more energy and concentration. That'd be nice. Oh, there's the again. I'm enjoying very much being back and doing this. I really, really enjoy this stream. It's fun for me, so thank you to everybody who tuned in and gave me an excuse to do it. I'm very excited that I have all this new ways to work. That's fun for me. I like having be able to hear my own voice so I can get a little bit better for the soft songs, and that's fun. The family's doing really well. The kids are playing video games a little bit too much, but I'm not chasing them. I have breakfast with my son every Friday, breakfast with my daughter every Monday. Like in a restaurant, I make them breakfast every morning, so I get to see him. Debbie's working really, really hard, but I still get to see her. CPAP for life! Glad there's a believer. Tell me all about it, because I'm a little bit scared. It's a big old hassle to get it, but I am sincerely curious. Yeah. Let's see, inspiration-wise, Wanda Sykes has a new special. I'm going to check that out tomorrow. She's always an inspiration. Sarah Silverman just dropped a new one last night on HBO. I'm definitely going to check that out, or Max, whatever they call it nowadays. I'll definitely check that out because Sarah Silverman's amazing. And I'm psyched. My writing partner stood me up twice this week, which made me super sad and vaguely angry. But my writing partners last week, my Sunday writing session went fantastic, and my friend showed up. It all made me very happy. Okay, let me take a look. Uh-oh. Looks to me like it says 12:05. All right, so we're doing well. If anybody has anything else you want to talk about, type it in the chat. I'll come back and chat. Honestly, the wheel stuff is just, until we figure out something to talk about. I like singing and everything, but I'd rather talk to you. Let's spin ahead. Spin the wheel. Now, you say got to stick with the CPAP. Oh, there's some more information. We'll come back for that in just a second. More Shakespeare? Come on, man. Mix it up. I love Shakespeare, but I don't have that much. A joke! Why not? Let's see if I can remember a joke. Sure. Quick one. What do you get when you cross an elephant and a kangaroo? Potholes all over Australia. Because he's so big. No need to talk about that. Some more folks putting stuff in the chat, I hope. Zen Cohen. Well, it's about time, folks. Let us find a Zen Cohen. It's a little bit more complicated than usual, because I got to hit this button over here. Now, as you know, Zen koans are teaching tools used in the study of Japanese Buddhism. Some of the stories have a very specific moral. Others have no moral at all. They expect you to make the connection on your own. I have a collection of over 100. I believe we are on number 59. Soldiers of Humanity. Once a division of the Japanese army was engaged in a sham battle, and some of the officers found it necessary to make their headquarters in Gasan's temple. Gasan told his cook, "Let the officers have only the same simple fare we eat." This made the army men angry, as they were used to very deferential treatment. One came to Gasan and said, "Who do you think we are? We are soldiers, sacrificing our lives for our country. Why don't you treat us accordingly?" Gasan answered sternly, "Who do you think we are? We are soldiers of humanity, aiming to save all sentient beings." Something to think about. Oh, and we got a request. Back to the chat, Chalet. Looks like we got word first of all. My buddy Josh, he says it's worth the wait. He changed his sleep game. I don't know what kind of games he plays when he's sleeping, but apparently I'm going to get better at them, which is awesome. I hope I can make some sleep money winning sleep games of skill. Got to stick with it. That's what I'm all about. Look how long I've been doing this thing, and I got 3 people watching. Huh? I got stick-to-itiveness. Thanks for being there with me. And David Beckwith specifically requests some limericks. So let's go down to the Poetry Pagoda and do some limericks. First, I gotta find them. Limericks are on the short list. Hold on. Limericks. There we go. I'm still working on a system here, buddy. Thanks for being patient with me. Let's do 5 limericks since you've been so very, very patient. Let's start with... It's taking a while to load, I'm afraid. Here we go. This. I know an old owl named Boo. Every night he yelled, "Who?" Once a kid walked by and started to cry and yelled, "I don't have a clue." You know, I once fell in love with a blonde, but found that of me she wasn't so fond. Of my pet turtle named Odel, who I taught how to yodel, so she dumped him inside in the pond. It's a sad story. I'd rather have fingers than toes. I'd rather have ears than a nose. And as for my hair, I'm glad it's all there. I'll be awfully sad when it goes. More? You got it, buddy. A painter who lived in Great Britain interrupted two girls with their knitting. He said with a sigh, "That park bench, well, I just painted it right where you're sitting." I like that one. It's got a punchline and a funny image. Another one? You got it. An elderly man called Keith mislaid his set of false teeth. They'd been laid on a chair. He'd forgot they were there, sat down, and was bitten beneath. There once was a man of Peru who dreamt he was eating his shoe. He woke in the night with a terrible fright and found it was perfectly true. There you go, buddy. Limericks, and thanks for watching. Let's spin the wheel. We should all be such bodhisattvas. I couldn't agree more. I always thought that'd be a really good name for a Buddhist comedian, Bodhisattva. He just comes out and tells everybody we're all one with punchlines. Monologue! Which state has the most streets? That's a great question. I do not know the answer to that. Which state has the most streets? While I'm doing this monologue, I'm going to think about it. Why they're laughing now. All right. I got monologues. Let's do one. We did a comedy one. Let's do a serious one. Let's do... Oh, no. Let's do Fatal Beatings. I love Fatal Beatings, and I get to drink my coffee. Fatal Beatings is a monologue written and performed by the brilliant Rowan Atkinson for his special Rowan Atkinson Live. I have transcribed it, and I'm doing my best to do it justice. Fatal Beatings by Rowan Atkinson. Well, now, Mr. Perkins, it was good of you to come in. I realize you are a busy man, and I can't think this matter would be discussed over the electric telephone. Quite frankly, Tommy is in trouble. Recently, his behavior has left a great deal to be desired. He seems to take no interest in school life whatsoever. He refuses to monkey in on the sports field, and it's weeks since any master has received any written work from him. Quite frankly, Mr. Perkins, if he wasn't dead, I'd have him expelled. Yes, expelled! If I wasn't making allowances for the fact that your son is dead, he'd be out on his ear. That's right. He's lying up in the sick bay now, stiff as a board and bright green. It's very typical of his current attitude. You see, the boy has no sense of moderation. One moment he's flying around like a paper kite, and the next he's completely immovable and beginning to smell. You're probably wondering how he died. Well, it's all got to do with the library, you see. We've had a lot of trouble recently with boys taking out library books without library cards. Your son was caught, and I administered a beating, during which he died. But you'll be glad to know the ringleader has been caught, and I don't think we'll be having any more trouble with library discipline. You see, the library card system... Yes, I beat your son to death. Please, I'm not used to being interrupted. You see, the library card system was introduced... How did it happen? Well, apparently, the boys were just slipping into the library and taking the books. Oh, the beating! Well, one moment he was bending over, the next he was lying down, deadish. Mr. Perkins, I find this rather morbid fascination with your son's death quite disturbing. What I am talking about is his attitude, and quite frankly, I can see where he gets it from. It was perfectly obvious to me the first day here, I fear. I wondered then, as I wonder now, if he hadn't turned out a very different boy indeed, if you had administered a few fatal beatings early on. I'm furious. In order to accommodate the funeral, I've had to cancel afternoon school on Wednesday. This whole situation is preposterous. Or at least it would be, if it were true. I've been joking, Mr. Perkins. Pardon me, it's my strange academic sense of humor. I've been pulling your leg. I wouldn't cancel afternoon school to bury that little shit. Rowan Atkinson, everybody. How about him? I'm back. Hey, Tony, welcome, buddy. Rhode Island, really? Right on. All right, I'm back. Let's go back. Here we go. Chat Chalet. I am back, Tony. Thanks for asking. We got a couple things. We should all be such bodhisattvas. For those of you who don't study Buddhism, a bodhisattva is almost a Buddha. It's a person who has attained the enlightenment they search for, in lack of a better term. Someone who has found the peace offered by studying Buddhism. Which state has the most streets? Interesting trivia question. The correct answer, as it turns out, Rhode Island. Did not expect that. A lot of streets, not much real estate. Chop it up smaller to make it seem like more. I am back, Tony. I'll be here every Sunday for quite some time. I went to Scotland for a while, and before that I was sick, and after that it was Mother's Day. So no more breaks for me. I really enjoy this process. I hope I don't miss any more again. Let me check the clock down there. Let's see. Somebody please type in the time. I'm supposed to wrap this up at 12:30, but I have to think of something so that I can do so because my clock is covered. Let's spin the wheel. Oh, and David said thanks for the limericks. It's awfully nice. Wisdom. Let's head on down. Lay down some wisdom from on high. Well, we've had some Jewish teachings. We've had some teachings from the Quran. Why don't we do some, I don't know, secular teachings? Here's Jack Kornfield. Jack Kornfield teaches us that even Socrates, who lived a very frugal and simple life, loved to go to the market. When his students asked about this, he replied, "I love to go and see all the things I am happy without." The answer to happiness is certainly not in our things. Here's a little bit more. Peace requires us to surrender our illusions of control. We can care and love for others. But we cannot possess our children, lovers, family, or friends. We can assist them, pray for them, and wish them well. Yet in the end, their happiness and suffering depend on their thoughts and their actions, not on our wishes. Very true. One more. Everything that has a beginning has an ending. Make your peace with that, and all will be well. Let's spin the wheel. Thank you for the time. Oh, hey, Tony, hold on. Tony was nice enough to ask me to tell him about Scotland. I was explaining a little bit earlier in the show. I have all kinds of pictures on the Facebook page if you want to check it out. My wife and I are celebrating our 20th anniversary, Tony. So we traveled to Scotland for 7 days. We went to Edinburgh the first day, and then every other day we just picked spots on the map and drove and tried to find beautiful things. And we found them. Found millions of pictures, spent time with each other in the quiet, and really enjoyed ourselves. It was a beautiful trip, and thank you for asking. Let's spin the wheel. Thanks for the time check, everybody. 10 minutes left. Hey, thanks for hanging in there, Andy. Shakespeare. Let's head on down to Shakespeare again. Why Roses and Thorns hasn't come up yet. Let's do that next. Let's do... I'll go down the bottom here. It's been a while. Aye, but to die and go, we know not where, to lie in cold obstruction, to rot, this sensible warm motion to become a kneaded clod, and the delighted spirit to bathe in fiery floods, or to reside in the thrilling region of thick-ribbed ice, to be imprisoned in the viewless mines and blown with restless violence round about the pendant world, or to be worse than that, worst of those that lawless and uncertain thought imagine howling. 'Tis too horrible. The weariness and most loathed worldly life that age, ache, penury, imprisonment can lay on nature is a paradise to what we fear of death. That's true. I need some more Shakespeare. Let's spin the wheel. Monologue. Cool. I think I'm going to do a serious monologue. Let's go to the theater. There we go. I don't know why it laughs every time I go to the theater. It's not supposed to do that. All right, this monologue is from No Country for Old Men, because that book and movie are awesome. I was sheriff of this county when I was 25. Hard to believe. Grandfather was a lawman. Father too. Me and him was sheriff at the same time. Him in Plano and me here. I think he was pretty proud of that. I know I would. Some of the old-time sheriffs never even wore a gun. A lot of folks find that hard to believe. Jim Scarborough, he never carried one. That's the younger Jim. Gaston Boykins wouldn't wear one up in Comanche County. I always liked to hear about the old-timers. Never missed a chance to do so. Old man Hoskins over in Bastrop County, he'd know everybody's phone number off by heart. You can't but compare yourself against the old-timers. You can't help but wonder how they would have operated in these times. There was this boy I sent to Huntsville here a while back. My arrest, my testimony. He killed a 14-year-old girl. Paper said it was a crime of passion, but he told me there wasn't any passion to it. Told me he'd been planning to kill somebody for as long as he could remember. Said that if they turned him out, he'd do it again. Said he knew he was going to hell, but be there in about 15 minutes. I don't know what to make of that. I surely don't. The crime you see now, it's hard to even take its measure. It's not that I'm afraid of it. I always knew I had to be willing to die to even do this job. Not to be glorious, but I don't want to push my chips forward and go out and meet something I don't understand. You could say it's my job to fight, but I don't know what it is anymore. More than that, I don't want to know. A man would have to put his soul at hazard. He would have to say, okay, I'll be a part of this world. Love Cormac McCarthy. Did you wear a kilt? Good question. Let's go back to Chat Chalet. Thanks for asking, David. I did not wear a kilt. I only ate a very tiny, tiny piece of haggis out of respect. I didn't try to pretend to be Scottish. I occasionally slipped into a Scottish accent by accident, but other than that, I didn't really take part in it. I think kilts are for guys who can run around with their shirts off. You know what I mean? That's not me. Thanks for asking. I think we're almost out of time. How are we doing? 5 more minutes. Right on. Spin the wheel. What does that say? Well, let's pretend it's roses and thorns. Let's go to the Chat Chalet. Roses and thorns. This is something that I heard a great actor talk about on an interview once. It's just a description of your week. The best thing that happened is your rose. The worst thing that happened is your thorn. My rose this week so far is being with the kids all week. That was fun. Made steaks. Always love making steaks. That was Thursday. That's a good day. Rehearsed a play with my friend Reggie. That felt good. Got to cuddle my wife a little bit, tuck her in when she came home at the end of the night, spend some time watching TV. We saw John Wick 4. That was pretty awesome. I can't think of a single thorn. What about you? What are your roses and thorns, folks? What was the best part of your week and the worst part of your week? Type it in the chat. I'll be right back. Cormac's amazing. Cormac McCarthy's the man. Poem! All right, let's go to the Poetry Pagoda. Headphones on. All right, folks. Oh, hey, how you doing? Soft Talking Johnny's back. There we go. Now I'm centered. Let us find a poem that we can all enjoy. Let's do He Wishes for the Cloths of Heaven by William Butler Yeats. Had I the heavens' embroidered clothes enwrought with golden and silver light, the blue and the dim and the dark, clothes of night and light and the half-light, I would spread the clothes under your feet, but I, being poor, have only my dreams. I have spread my dreams under your feet. Tread softly, for you tread on my dreams. And this is one more. This is Anarchy by John Henry Mackay. Ever reviled, accursed, never understood, thou art the grisly terror of our age. Wreck of all order, cry the multitude, art thou, and war and murder's endless rage. Oh, let them cry, to them that ne'er have striven the truths that lie beneath a word to find, to them the word's right meaning was not given. They shall continue blind among the blind. But thou, O word, so clear, so strong, so pure, thou sayest all which for goal I have taken. I give thee to the future, thine secure, when each at last unto himself shall waken. Comes it in sunshine, in the tempest thrill? I cannot tell, but it, the earth, shall see. I am an anarchist, wherefore I will not rule, and also ruled I will not be. I'm enjoying this. One more. You guys got enough for one more poem? I think you do. I trust you. This is for Memorial Day. This is The Soldier by Rupert Brooke. If I should die, think only this of me, that there's some corner of a foreign field that is forever England. There shall be in that rich earth a richer dust concealed, a dust whom England bore, shaped, made aware, gave once her flowers to love, her ways to roam, a body of England's, breathing English air, washed by the rivers, blessed by sons of home. And think, this heart, all evil shed away, a pulse in the eternal mind no less gives somewhere back the thoughts by England given, her sights and sounds, dreams happy as her day, and laughter learnt of friends, and gentleness in hearts at peace, under an English heaven. Beautiful. Let's go to the chat. All right, we got some new information here. Tell us about Scotland. I'm on that. Did that. I did not wear a kilt. Thanks for asking, David. Cormac McCarthy does have a gift. If you have not read the book for No Country for Old Men, I highly recommend you do so. I'm also a big fan of the play The Sunset Limited. Most of his other stuff is a bit too dense for me to read, believe it or not, because I have a very hard time concentrating. But I keep trying. Oh, so do you. No thorns, and that nice to be. All rose. And David pointed out that Sir Ken Robinson quoted that poem. He ended his talk with it. I'm not familiar with Ken Robinson, but I'm very glad to hear that the words are getting out about the poem. Check the time. Yeah, I think it's about time to head out. Let's say our goodbyes here at the talk show desk. Thank you very much for walking. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you had some fun. Don't forget, I'll be performing with my sister this Wednesday in Lake Wiley, South Carolina at Papa Doc's. I hope you'll come and see us there. And mark your calendars. I'm going to be performing Johnny Millwater Presents, my annual variety comedy show with some of my favorite people in town. It's going to be at the Booth Playhouse in Uptown Charlotte on September 9th at 4 p.m. So mark your calendars and cancel everything you got. I'll be back next Sunday. Thanks for checking in. I hope you get better and better. I really do. I hope everybody feels good. Now to close it out. We'll meet again. Let's see if I can get up here. Huh? Yeah, fancy. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep shining through, just like you always do, and the blue skies will push those dark clouds far away. And would you please say hello to the folks that I know, and tell them I won't be long. I'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Thanks for watching. Be good, but not too good.